Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
I think more than ever, we need Judy Collins, our Renaissance woman. Judy, over, I don't know what, half a century in the music industry, constantly on top. Books, hope. I'm telling you that when I hear Judy sing, I don't allow myself to feel I can't take any more of this virus. I can't take my mask. I can't do this. And listen to this music, which I can't even tell you how good it makes people feel. And Judy is bringing her winter stories to the stage at the Town Hall, which is right here in Manhattan, 123 West 43rd Street. You're going to celebrate the holidays with Judy and her stories and her music and her classics and her guests. So first with basics, how are you? You sound great.
I'm fine. I'm wonderful. I'm traveling to Lexington, Mass. to do a concert. I've just been in Old Saybrook for 3 nights at the Kate Theater, that beautiful theater that's named after Katharine Hepburn. So I'm on the road. I'm cooking.
You're unbelievable. You know, I mean, nothing stops Judy. She keeps on going. And, you know, to thrive like you do and have in this industry is extraordinary. And you started when you were a kid. You're musical.
I was a kid, yeah. I started, I was always playing and practicing the piano and playing with orchestras and so on. But I found folk music at 16, 15 and a half, and I started this professional route in 1959. Right. So I've been doing this for 60 years.
Right, unbelievable. And you started doing all classical stuff until you heard folk music.
Yes, I did indeed, which gives me a lot of tools to do all kinds of music. You know, anything that I set my heart on, I can sing if I put my mind to it and try to figure it out on the piano as well, which comes in handy a lot of the time.
No, but, you know, when you think, and Judy has written her books and her life story, the impact that you've had not only on music, but on the music of so many people. I never get tired of hearing the Sondheim story with Send in the Clowns. I mean, people still go, what? That happened, you know?
Yeah. I've had those miracles all along, you know, starting out with Leonard bringing me his songs, which nobody else had heard, and Joni singing me Both Sides Now on the phone in the middle of the night. And Sondheim, my friend Nancy Bacall, bringing me the album with Little Night Music with Send in the Clowns on it. I never would have found it. So miracles are always happening.
Right. And the fact is that when you heard that, you said, I got to do this. I'm definitely doing this. And people said, well, other people have done it. Why do you want to do it? And you wouldn't take no. I'm doing it.
No. I'm doing it. Hal Prince said to me, 200 other people have recorded. I said, I don't care.
I know, but it became yours with Send in the Clowns. And it was just, right?
It did, and God is good.
Yeah, well, Judy Collins is good,
Somewhere
too.
a light is shining.
Right. And what about when Joni Mitchell was a young writer that almost no one really knew?
Nobody knew her at all, no. She was a nobody, and she was hanging out at the bar with Al Cooper, and she told him she wrote songs. This was 1967. And he said, oh, and then he followed her home and called me up at 3 a.m. and said, this girl does write songs. And she just played me one, and you have to hear it. And then he put her on the phone, and she sang me Both Sides Now. Can you imagine?
No one knew who she
how old
was.
was I?
You were
20, she might have been 24 or something like that. Yeah.
And you were a kid, too, doing all this stuff.
I was a kid, yeah. I'm still a kid at heart.
You know what? You are a kid. With that gorgeous hair and that voice, you are. How many times have I gone over to the Carlisle?
Oh.
Which is my favorite in many ways because it's so intimate.
It is.
And just sit there surrounded by this incredible music. But what I never got, no matter what's happened, and like everyone, you've been through a lot in life, but that Judy Collins optimism should be bottled. And
I've got to bottle it.
You got to call it a perfume or something, or a diet drink.
Yeah.
Have a taste of optimism.
Yeah,
that would be a good name for a food product.
It would be indeed.
So, but you do have that, and no matter what, it's there with you, even now during this pandemic.
Yes, you have to be. I mean, think of all the things that our parents went through. Think of all the things that people go through in their lives. In a way, yeah, we have something terrible happening, but we have so many resources that people before us didn't have.
It's true.
I mean, and by the way, as simple a thing as a mask, you can get a hold of when you need it.
Exactly. I know.
A mask and a shot, and you're good to go.
That's it's called optimism, but it works. You're right. A mask and a shot, and there you go, schlepping all over America. I mean, usually I would say, I'd call and someone would say, oh, Judy's not here. I'd say, where? Australia. She'll be home later. That's
right.
you. No place is too far to go and do that. So,
that's right. Lucky me. Lucky life.
Well, lucky all of us because we've got all this stuff because of you, and still living this life.
And you, God bless you. You have been there through my life so many, many, many years. Well, and I'm grateful to you and to your audience who is so lucky to have you, and you who are a constant in your audience's lives. I love that about you. You too sustain and remain interested and optimistic and letting people know about things they need to know about.
Right. That's we care. Even food. Right. I learned so much from you about eating and all this. Mm-hmm. And, first we said Judy's not going into the whole food thing, right? Wrong.
Yeah.
She started researching all this stuff about food and gained control of the beast, which bothers so many women.
I know. That book, Cravings, the best part of that, well, for me, was telling my story, but the best part of it was finding out about all these people. Lord Byron had a problem, and the first King of England had a problem, and so many people. And they wrote it, they thought about it, they talked about it. It was something that I looked into and thought about a lot and did research on. I love to do research.
I know.
So that was fun for me.
Well, tell us a little bit about the concert on the town hall, because it's coming up soon and we want people to go.
It's the 17th of December, town hall, one of my favorite stamping grounds. And I will be on the stage with my pals that I made this album called Winter Stories. The Chatham County Line will be there, and Toshi Reagan will be there. So we'll do some things together, and then I'll do some solos. I'm going to sing Joni River's song, River. Joni Mitchell's song, River. Joni Mitchell,
right.
Just so you'll hear it. And there will be wonderful moments. I'll do the Sondheim. Of course, I'm going to do Send in the Clowns in his honor.
Right.
And I always have a great time at Town Hall. It's a special, special place. Beautiful acoustics, wonderful people there. Very, very nice dressing room.
Which is helpful. That makes a difference.
So we'll have a good time, and I hope that you will all come to hear me.
Of course, we all want to hear you. And don't forget that Judy has written so many songs for so many people. And talking about Joni Mitchell and some of what you're singing, you wrote what a lot of people think is one of the greatest songs, Albatross, about your relationship.
Yes. I think that I'm going to do Albatross that night. I think it's a good way to celebrate being back at Carnegie Hall. And by the way, my new album, which is coming out in February 25th, I hope I can talk to you about it sometime at length. It's all my own songs and all the new songs that I've written during the pandemic.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that.
So the pandemic, in many ways, you worked and really got a lot done. Most of us, I used to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to finish my book. And you know what? I did nothing. I ate, baked. I couldn't make myself do anything like that. And I kept thinking, a year and a half, what happened to me? But you...
I was going to declutter as well.
Did you?
But I did work a little bit.
I know, the same way, a little bit. Not enough to make a difference.
Not enough.
I know,
not
but
enough.
These things are part of us, and it's hard to know where to start.
Well, exactly.
My kids gave me an organizer as a present.
Oh.
She was perfectly lovely, but she was an organizer, and she was throwing out all my stuff. And
right.
It was,
right.
It's very hard to declutter.
It's hard. It's a hard thing, I know. I'm going to get a hold of that declutterer that you used. I'll call you up.
Yeah, I'll send it. And she was good at decluttering. I wasn't. That was the problem.
Yeah.
I would have clothes from Barnet College. She'd say, What are you doing with that stuff? I said, well, I might fit in it again. She said, not in your lifetime. And she would shame me. I'd say, oh, I love that dress. She said, you wore that dress in 1965. Throw it out.
I always look at these closets, and then Catherine says, you can't throw those things out. Somebody at a museum is going to want them.
Well,
so I hold on to them.
It's true. They will want them because your stuff will reflect.
I'll be in a museum someday, one of these days, too.
No, you're going strong. And you know what I find amazing? Your voice still sounds so strong. You have no issue of singing for 60 years. It doesn't show any strain.
I know. It's got to be a combination of DNA and my ancestors. They all sang.
Right. Your daddy was a musician.
Yeah, a great singer. He studied. He studied singing when he was in college. And I studied, too. I had a great teacher. So I think it helps to have somebody tell you how to do it.
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
But when you turned to folk music, was he happy or upset that classical was not?
Oh, he was very happy because, he used to sing he'd sing Danny Boy and other Irish and English songs. So he loved that music. He loved the melodies. He loved the traditional songs. So he loved it anyway. He loved the best of Broadway, the best of Rodgers and Hart.
No, and he was a radio guy, which is why I always was interested from the beginning in your story. And he had definite eye problems and seeing problems. He was legally blind, right?
He was blind. Yes, he was completely blind from the age of 4. So, in fact, he was one time his friends in Seattle, they were all getting together in 1942 when the draft had started, and the other guys were all getting drafted, and he went down to the draft office and got a certificate that said that he was A1, well, except for the fact that he couldn't see.
Right. A minor inconvenience.
A minor inconvenience, exactly.
I know, and it didn't stop him. He kept doing everything.
No, he was amazing.
But you know what? You got that from him. You're amazing. No matter what things happened in life that a lot of people would not be able to get over, you just have that steely wool, and you got over that.
Yeah, I did. The worst, of course, was
The
my
loss.
son's death. My son's death, and he was a suicide. And you know, you don't get
You'd never
over
get
it so
over
much as you get through it, and you go on with your life. And every once in a while, you fall apart. So, but isn't that life? I mean, you know,
That's
it's
life. And you
it's life
gave,
every once in a while.
right, and the gift
Must-
of his life, you gave life to so many people by being open and revealing and sharing the anguish and the joy at the
Yeah.
same time. And that
I
was
had to.
extraordinary.
I had to write that book. I had to. There was nothing else around, you know.
No.
There was The Savage God, which is a horrible reading experience, but and it's all about Sylvia Plath's suicide. But it
Right.
doesn't. The problem with that book and Alvarez, who wrote it, is that it doesn't talk about solutions. I like solutions. Give me a solution, and I've got something to hang on to.
Right. And then in turn, you
So
pass it on to us.
that's why I had to write that book. Really had to.
Well, I'm glad you did. Don't forget, everyone, Judy Collins, December 17th at the Town Hall, right in the heart of Times Square at 123 West 43rd Street. Judy, you'll come visit me again. Happy
I
holidays
will.
to you
I
and
love
yours.
you.
I love
Happy
you.
holidays, Joan.
We'll
Love you
talk
dearly.
soon. Thank
Okay,
you.
honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Judy.
Bye-bye.
I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to WABC.